The Haitian Revolution, which took place between 1791 and 1804, was one of the most significant and impactful uprisings in world history. It led to the establishment of Haiti as the first independent black republic and marked the only successful slave rebellion in history that resulted in the creation of a sovereign nation. The revolution not only ended French colonial rule in Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti, but also dealt a severe blow to the institution of slavery, inspiring other movements across the globe. In the late 18th century, Saint-Domingue was France's most lucrative colony, producing vast quantities of sugar, coffee, and other goods that fueled the French economy. The colony's wealth was built on the brutal exploitation of African slaves, who made up the vast majority of the population. At the time, Saint-Domingue had a complex social hierarchy, with white planters, known as Grands Blancs, at the top, followed by free people of color, many of whom were mixed race, and finally the enslaved Africans who endured inhumane conditions and had virtually no rights. The social tensions in Saint-Domingue were immense. The white colonists, while wealthy, lived in constant fear of rebellion from the enslaved population, who outnumbered them significantly. The free people of color, though not enslaved, faced severe discrimination and were denied many of the rights and privileges afforded to whites. The stage was set for a conflict that would change the course of history. The Haitian Revolution was heavily influenced by the broader context of the French Revolution, which began in 1789. The French Revolution introduced radical ideas about liberty, equality, and fraternity, which resonated with the oppressed populations in Saint-Domingue. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, proclaimed by the French National Assembly in 1789, declared that all men were born free and equal in rights. However, these ideals were not initially extended to the colonies, leading to growing unrest. In 1790, a revolt broke out among the free people of color in Saint-Domingue, led by Vincent Auger, who demanded equal rights for free people of color. Although Auger's rebellion was quickly suppressed, it set a precedent for further resistance against colonial authorities. The full-scale revolution began in August 1791, when enslaved Africans in the northern part of Saint-Domingue launched a massive uprising. The rebellion was carefully planned, with leaders like Dutty Boukman, a Vodou priest, playing a key role in mobilizing the enslaved population. The revolt quickly spread across the colony, with thousands of slaves rising up against their masters, burning plantations, and killing white settlers in their quest for freedom. One of the most prominent leaders to emerge from the slave revolt was Toussaint Louverture, a former slave who had gained his freedom and become a skilled military leader. Toussaint's leadership and strategic acumen were instrumental in turning the rebellion into a successful revolution. He organized the rebel forces into a formidable army and used guerrilla tactics to defeat the colonial troops sent to suppress the uprising. As the revolution gained momentum, the situation in France became increasingly complex. The French revolutionary government, embroiled in wars with European powers and facing internal strife, initially attempted to quell the rebellion by granting some concessions, such as the abolition of slavery in 1793. However, the situation in Saint-Domingue had already escalated beyond the point of reconciliation. Toussaint Louverture allied himself with the French Republic, fighting against British and Spanish forces that had intervened in the conflict in hopes of seizing the colony for themselves. By 1795, Toussaint had gained control of most of the colony and had become the de facto ruler of Saint-Domingue. His governance brought stability to the island, and he worked to restore the economy by encouraging the return of white planters and the revival of agriculture, albeit under new, more equitable terms. In 1801, Toussaint took a bold step by declaring himself Governor-General for life and promulgating a constitution that effectively made Saint-Domingue autonomous from France. The Constitution abolished slavery permanently and guaranteed equality and citizenship for all residents, regardless of race. Toussaint's actions alarmed Napoleon Bonaparte, who had taken power in France and was intent on restoring French dominance over its colonies. In 1802, Napoleon sent a large expeditionary force, led by his brother-in-law Charles Leclerc, to reassert French control over Saint-Domingue and reinstate slavery. Toussaint initially tried to negotiate with the French, but was eventually captured in 1802 and deported to France, where he died in prison the following year. However, Toussaint's removal did not quell the revolution. The struggle for independence continued under the leadership of generals like Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Henri Christophe, who carried on the fight against the French forces. Despite early successes, the French forces struggled to suppress the Haitian revolutionaries, who were determined to resist at all costs. The French army was also decimated by yellow fever, which took a heavy toll on the troops. The combination of relentless resistance and disease eventually forced the French to withdraw. On January 1, 1804, Jean-Jacques Dessalines declared the independence of Saint-Domingue, renaming the new nation Haiti after the indigenous Taino name for the island. Dessalines became the first ruler of independent Haiti, marking the establishment of the first black republic in the world and the second independent nation in the Western Hemisphere, following the United States. The Haitian Revolution was a watershed moment in history. It dealt a severe blow to the institution of slavery and demonstrated that enslaved people could successfully rise up against their oppressors and establish their own nation. The revolution also had a profound impact on the global landscape, inspiring other slave uprisings and contributing to the eventual abolition of slavery throughout the Americas. However, Haiti's victory came at a steep cost. The country faced immediate isolation and economic sanctions from the world's major powers, particularly France and the United States, which were unwilling to recognize a nation born out of a slave revolt. Haiti was forced to pay a crippling indemnity to France in exchange for diplomatic recognition, plunging the nation into debt and economic hardship that would persist for centuries. The Haitian Revolution remains a powerful symbol of resistance and the fight for freedom. It challenged the existing social order and reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the Americas. Despite the struggles and hardships that followed, the revolutionaries of Haiti achieved what many thought was impossible. They overthrew a colonial power, abolished slavery, and established a new nation based on the principles of liberty and equality. The legacy of the Haitian Revolution continues to inspire movements for justice and human rights around the world.